Now I'm thinking about confiscate. That's your fault. If someone came up to me and said they had to confiscate all my lenses except for one, which one would I keep? That's an easy one for me. I'd keep my Sigma 35mm 1.4 art lens. Now let's talk about why you should too. Roll the intro. My name is Justin Romeyn, and I'm the owner and lead cinematographer at Red Creative Films, a production company based in Dallas, Texas. We do commercials, weddings, and real estate videos, and if you look at our work, most of the time you would think we are filming on expensive cinema lenses. I have actually had people say this to me. Well, guess what? On every project we do, I use the Red Komodo and guaranteed at some point the $899 Sigma 35mm art lens. And I would show it to you right now, but I'm actually filming on it as we speak. It's my absolute favorite and go-to lens for most wide, medium, and even close-up shots. Anyways, let's go over a few reasons why. Number one is size. Coming in at just under 1.5 pounds, this is one of the lightest lenses I own. This makes it super easy to go handheld with it all day, even without an easy rig. I also have no problems at all balancing this lens on a gimbal. It helps that the dimensions, length versus width, don't exceed 4 inches. And if you compare this to a fairly inexpensive cinema lens, for example, the Rokinon Zine 35mm, which comes in around $1,300, the Zine weighs just over 3 pounds and is close to 5 inches in length, making it much harder, but still possible, to balance on a gimbal or a flat cam. When you're on set, time is money, and working with lighter lenses will always be easier to work with and be my preference as long as they don't sacrifice on my next point, which is image quality. Now, I'm no expert on all the little imperfections that cheaper lenses supposedly have, but I can tell you this, image quality I get with this lens is very pleasing. I've never had any weird light reflections like I do with some of my other Canon lenses. The highlights and flaring are super soft and have a filmic quality to them. After all, there is a reason that some DPs choose to use vintage lenses. The characteristics and feeling that a lens produces, to me, is more important than having glass with perfectly designed optics that meet all the testing requirements. I actually did an image comparison of this lens a long time ago to the Canon 35mm cinema lens, and to my natural eye, I noticed very little difference. Now, I'm sure high-level experienced cinematographers would be able to tell the difference, but in this case, they are not my client. So if I had to pick between a $4,000 Canon 35mm Cine lens and the $800 Sigma Art, you know what I'm choosing. Now, the next reason this lens is a beast is because of its 1.4 aperture. I shoot in a wide variety of locations for commercials and weddings, and it's often in low light. I need a lens that can have a wide aperture to let in as much light as possible while still maintaining sharpness. Because of its low aperture, this lens produces some really nice soft background, and the 13 blade aperture can give you some really nice bokeh, especially if you have lots of little lights behind your subject. Alright, and my last reason I love this lens is because of its minimum focus distance of 11.81 inches. The fact that you can get less than 1 foot away from your subject and still be able to pull focus is really helpful for me. In tight environments where you can't always back up, this lens shines. You can frame up the shot as a close-up or even a super close-up and still have the 63-degree field of view that you get with a 35mm on a full frame. Having this low of a minimum focus distance makes this lens very versatile when composing and filming projects. Well, I hope you found this video helpful, and if it was, make sure you subscribe for more content like this. And as always, if you have any other questions, don't hesitate, drop me a comment below.